All right, everybody, welcome to the Next GM's podcast. We got the Vikings and the Falcons talking about things you need to be doing until the actual cutover of the league, February 14th, Valentine's Day. We are going to be cutting over a number of things, but at the same time, things that a number of owners need to do before that point. Let's talk about those and make sure that everyone's on top of their shit. Anyways, Falcons, what's up?
How you doing? Good to be here.
Good man. All right. So let's just kind of go top to bottom. Thought process here is we're not gonna go crazy into team analysis, team trades, things of that sort. Rather, if there are things that obviously need to happen before this team rolls over, let's make sure we bring that up and make sure they get that done. Anyways, easy way to start. Talk about the Steelers. They seem to be in good shape before the rollover.
Yeah, nobody left on injured reserve, nobody left on taxi, plenty of cap space. And as far as extensions go, they have used their renegotiation and all of their extensions. So nothing other than any potential trading, nothing really left to do.
So I need to I need to warn you. Your division mate has joined. James of the Panthers is here, and he's ready to go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Nice.
There's Chris too.
And
I'm
Chris
alive.
from the Bengals.
You know, all you had to do was hit start, and then
everybody
and then
showed up.
Show up.
Everybody. I was waiting, and then all of a sudden, they're all here.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good man. How are you?
Good. Doing well. Someone want to put the YouTube link in the main chat so we can get some people watching?
Yeah, sure. And James, welcome to the chat, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 23. Senior.
It's not a dating app. Just
Cowboy fan. Been a rough year.
We're excited to have you here. Again, literally, the whole point of this is none of us are professional podcasters. None of us are very good at this. We're just enjoying ourselves and talking football. So glad to have you on. All right. So as we were saying, we're just kind of going through and talking each of the different teams and things they should do before rollover. Steelers look to be in pretty good shape, so not much to say there. That being said, somebody needs to talk to our commissioner. We've got a couple of taxi players who need to get activated before we're ready to go, and those years are greater than the years that he has on his roster.
for who?
Jeremy.
What order are you going down?
Yeah, I'm
Steelers.
so confused.
I just realized I'm on the 2020 site, so please forgive me.
Okay, you're just on the rosters page order. I see.
I'm on purely the rosters, top to bottom.
I'm with you.
Yep. So Jeremy has 5 years of contract year cap room available. He has Malik Turner, Greg Gaines, and Cam Brown on his taxi squad, and 5 years of contract year available. So at some point, he's going to need to get this cleared up.
That's true, but Cam Brown and Malik Turner are probably pretty easy cuts. I mean, I could see him wanting to keep Gaines around, and as long as he's gotten rid of the other two, the contracts are fine. The contract years are fine.
Makes sense.
And he's also used all of his extensions and renegotiations.
Yep. All right. Let me add that as well because that's a good thing to be able to refer to. All right, moving down to the Browns.
Too many tabs to open up. It's impossible.
We've got a taxi squad player in Artavis Pierce, and we have Cody Core and I can't pronounce that name.
Shazer.
The Shazer. Yes, Everett.
They're both on 1 year, so they'll both be dropped at rollover.
Probably. So
They
probably
do
not
have
much
the
to
one
worry about.
contract extension, though.
What was that?
They have one contract extension, and they might want to use it on the Rashawn Evans or Josie Joel.
True.
5 seconds. Which one of those do you pick? Go.
Josie Joel.
He should trade one of them and extend whichever one he doesn't trade. That's the easy answer.
Truly.
Although,
Or you don't have to trade him
mean-
now. You can trade him before trade deadline next year. You can still extend
Yeah.
the 1 year guy.
well,
So,
so you're saying Evans? Evans is a first round rookie, so he does not get an extension. He's a 5th-year option next year.
oh, is he? I forgot.
One pick 130 in 2018, and
He
then
was one of my guys.
and then Josie can be extended, but he is a 2018 rookie, so he'll be extended on the renegotiation
Mhm.
rules.
See, I can't see when they were drafted anymore in MFL after this update.
Well,
Oh, there we
From
go. It's
MFL.
the hover over. Now I got it.
So and I don't have that at all.
let me make sure I get this right. So if you hover over the player, it shows up?
Yeah. So if you hover over the player name, it'll do the little pop-up tooltip. And that's where I can see the notes for the 18 first round pick. If I open the player page, it shows me none of that information anymore. So I don't know what happened to my MFL.
Okay, I gotcha. That's not helpful, but I get it at least.
So Josie's contract on an extension will bounce up to about $4 million, which is actually going to put
Yeah.
Browns pretty close to. He's got room enough for that.
I think
Depending
he's
on
going to
what-
make a deal. I think he's going to move a receiver and maybe one of these linebackers for a player. That's my gut, at least. Okay, I guess that's just what's going to happen.
That's,
So
that's what's going to happen. All right.
that's what's going to happen. I made a suggestion, and that's what's going to happen.
Who's trading for Michael Thomas?
I tried to.
That's what I'm really curious
Well,
about.
I would if I had more cap space.
I absolutely tried to. I will continue to try to.
I mean, you've already used your renegotiation, Chris. So
But
doesn't
who's
matter.
gonna be the quarterback in New Orleans? Is it Jameis? Is it Taysom? Is it
All right.
and that's why I've been a little nervous about sending an offer. I haven't used my renegotiation yet because I'm thinking about it. But
So last year, Thomas didn't drop off at all when Bridgewater was QB. He was hurt all this year, so we couldn't really see what would happen. But I'm not really worried about what QB he's throwing to Thomas.
I don't know. If it's Taysom, I'm a little worried only because I feel like the passing volume goes down so much that he's just not going to get the targets.
I highly doubt Taysom is their full-time QB.
I mean, but I highly doubted he was going to be the QB for 3 games in the middle of the season, and then he was.
True.
I didn't think he was gonna get 14 million. But you got
God help
14
us.
million.
God help us if Taysom Hill ends up being the.
I think there's a decent chance. Sean Payton
Well, I mean,
said it
he's
5
the-
or
he's
6
the only one
different
under
press
contract.
conferences. Yeah, he said it multiple times that he was going to be the guy. I think they'll give him a decent chance.
No, you're right, man.
And Winston's not under contract, right?
No, he's not. But they want him back. But they're also, even with the Drew Brees move, they're still 70 million over the cap projected.
All right. Well, we'll see what they do. I mean, I would be shocked, but I've been shocked by a lot of things over these years. Let's see. What is next on this list? We have the Ravens. In terms of things they need to do, Josh DeGuara is on injured reserve and needs to be activated, which would require them to free up 4 years
Well, and that's an
Um,
interesting one because Ravens has one-year player. That's it. So there's not a bunch of easy years to cut. So he's either going to have to get rid of DeGuara and Riley Ridley on taxi, which I think like neither one of those are big deals. But I'm also not sure what his pick situation is because
Yeah, he gets rid of both those guys. They scored less than every other player on his squad, including
right.
Mariota. Here, let me open up a trade page with him, and I'll tell you.
I mean,
He doesn't have many
realistically-
picks in 2021, so it's not really and everybody ticks down a year anyway, so that's not a major concern.
Realistically, look, I understand. He's a huge LSU fan. Is there a better time in his career to sell Devin?
I think he's actually getting better.
I think he's great. I think he is at the top of his game.
I-
But
I think he's
if you were
actually
ever
getting
going
better.
to get the max out of Devin, it's right now, right? Like,
No, see, I disagree only because he paid 109 for him. So I feel like he's already paid the maximum price. Because you're not going to get better return than a top 10 first round pick for any defensive player, I feel like.
that's
So
fair.
I can't imagine what return you're going to get for him that is going to make it worth selling him rather than just keeping those points on your roster.
Fair enough.
I feel he got better and better as the year went on, especially in zone coverage, because that's the only negative he's really ever had. He's extremely athletic and instinctive, but he sometimes struggled in coverage and zone.
I mean, and that's fine because the number of times they have him blitzing and the sacks that he can rack up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm never gonna pay what it would require to acquire that guy. So I'm pretty sure White stays on his team forever. I remember talking with him. This is over a year ago. Set up trades with him, and he said anybody but White or anybody but White is for sale. And
Yeah,
Well, you
guess
know, I
when-
mean, and he's
when
got
that
one more year of cost controlled, and then ends up being a top 10 salary, average
I'd-
top 10 salary.
yeah, it's almost 2 more years of cost control because
I mean, you have to do it at the end of the year, yeah.
Yeah, it's the end of the year when you cut your other guys.
Mhm.
So I think he'd be
Makes
all
sense.
right.
All right, moving on. We've got the Texans looking at Jeff's current situation. We have a tough contract with David Johnson. We have Allen Robinson on a good deal. The infamous Corey Davis contract.
And he has his renegotiation still. So, you know, you could take that Corey Davis contract down more and just, add a couple more years to it.
Yes, you could add more years to the Corey Davis contract.
Guy
I
will
mean,
be
at least
under
Corey Davis
contract.
scored points this year, like 100. That contract's still bad, but I mean, especially in best ball, Corey Davis had some boom games, so at least it wasn't wasted money completely this year.
See, makes sense.
I just want to see what he'd go down to. 1 second.
This is going to be interesting. I mean, there are
He's wide receiver
a
21.
few one-year players that he can cut. I mean, I guess as long as he cuts Sanders, which is an easy one, that gives him the cap space to move in his IR players. And some of those IR players are 1 year anyway, so that's
So
all
wide-
fine.
It's wide receiver 28 by points per game, which would be a $9.5 million contract.
That would save $7 million.
But it would add 2 more years to his contract.
Hey, he's only 26. He just turned 26. He's got 5 years left in the league.
I need to go back and find the most renegotiated player in history of this league.
So RJ was just trying to join the conversation. Asked, what are we talking about? Corey Davis's contract. I feel like he needs to prepare himself accordingly if he's going to join this conversation.
It looks like the Texans are going to open up 40 million in cap space though if they just let everyone walk.
It'd be
Yeah, there are tougher things to be position-wise, but yeah, that seems to be top of their to-do list.
Yeah, I remember last year. I think I had almost 30 million in cap space free, and I have no idea what I spent it on in free agency. It just all disappeared.
A free agency is so effing expensive.
Yes, it is.
If there's any new people listening that haven't been in this league before, whatever you expect to pay in the free agent auction coming up, just double it, and then add 10%, and you're probably close to what you think you're
I mean,
gonna.
that should end up starting to get resolved in the next year or two when people start having to pay the first set of fifth-year options.
Yep.
And some of those contracts start bouncing up. Like as we price out some of the absurdly cheap contracts from the startup, those fifth-year option contracts and the renegotiation contracts from second through fifth round rookies should start to even out some of the player prices.
It
Hopefully.
should, but yeah, this year definitely hasn't kicked in yet. I looked through the player list for who's going to be available, and offense is bone dry again.
That said, we have the Colts. Looking at the top of the list here,
I see.
Trubisky.
That's his
Yeah,
issue.
This is a very bad team.
Don't rub it in, Chris. He's got 4 extensions still too. Has not
Can't-
used a single extension.
If
Who do you
only.
even use it on.
Let's see. Wilkins. Oh, God.
No one.
You know what?
Maybe add a year to Hewitt just to use one.
Put one on Diggs for the safety.
Yeah.
D Ford?
Yeah, that's not a bad one.
D Ford. Yeah, he had a lost year, so
Yeah, I mean the 3-year guys he can get in front of, so he doesn't have to worry
Yep.
about using an extension on them next year.
Yep. All right. Let's talk about the Jags. Has Carson Wentz, Derrick Henry, and 2 good receivers.
Has 3 extensions and a renegotiation.
Star Latuline,
Renegotiate
Woods, and
Wentz?
Reuben Foster.
I'd 100% renegotiate Wentz. I don't care.
I mean,
if it
the only
adds
thing
years on.
I mean, that's 4 years is a lot for Wentz, but
Well,
how much? Let me figure. I'll figure out how much it would save him.
it's yeah, I'd 100% do Wentz for the renegotiation. I take that back. Potentially Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I
Mm.
was gonna say that would.
I was going to say, on a
either.
point per game,
Wentz was 26th in points per game, so yeah, that's going to have to be.
I'd cut it in half. It has to.
Yeah, yeah, cuts his contract in half. So, I mean, I don't see how you kind of pass up saving 16 million on Wentz.
you save $7 million.
What was that?
7. Oh, wait, no, hold on. That's all players. Let me QB here.
I showed Wentz is QB 26 in average.
Let's see. Average. Yeah, I feel like you definitely have to. There he is, QB 26.
That would
mean,
be
that-
huge for him too. He would go into the offseason close to 60 million in cap space if he let
Mhm.
everyone walk and renegotiated that one deal.
Yeah. Just makes sense. I mean, no better way to spend that space. Okay. Let's see what else is going on here.
New owner with the Titans.
Luigi.
Let's see. Anything he has to do? No, I think he's kind of taking care of things.
He also tagged Kirk Cousins, so he will not be hitting free agency.
He's also got the
And he's
third
still
overall
got
pick.
his extensions and his renegotiation.
I
So
mean, that's one of those things. I'm half tempted to make a bid on Kirk Cousins, with my 132 to see if that kind of can help balance things out.
you mean after February, on February 15th when you could use a trade extension on him?
Maybe. I mean, he's going to be a.
No, he's thinking of actually winning them in free agency.
Yeah.
Did he get tagged? Oh, I see what you mean. Give up one. Oh, wow.
Or
Yeah.
winning them through the tag, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
Give up
I gotcha.
132 to get him. But we'll see what happens. All right, on to the Bills. Bills have a lot of players on IR.
Including
You know
Dak.
what? Let's just drop everybody on IR. Let's just do it. These guys obviously don't want anybody who's still on IR, right, guys?
Yeah, I'll take Dak.
Yeah, Dak Prescott is washed up.
Exactly. Eric has no desire to keep Dak Prescott on his team.
I believe you guys.
Rashad Penny too. Yeah. God, Rashad Penny is going to suck too. I mean, at the end, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, are you really going to use a 5th-year option on Rashad Penny and pay Rashad Penny as a top 10 running back? No, there's just no way. So you're going to have guys like Rashad Penny hitting free agency.
Guys like Rashad Penny. That makes me so excited.
Interesting. It's more interesting than the running backs we normally have on free agency.
I don't know. I disagree. He's
okay. Maybe that was a bad example.
It's a horrible example. I don't know. I won't fight you for the rights to own him. Put it that way.
I don't know.
Cheap.
See if they re-sign Carson, and then we can argue about it some more.
I'd still go with Travis Homer over Penny.
You still got DJ Dallas too. They might bring Carlos Hyde back.
That said, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, and Ben Roethlisberger on the list of potential quarterbacks for Arthur. I mean, this is the dream, right?
With his brilliant Hurts extension.
I mean,
yeah, Aaron Jones is cheap until he retires. Unless he gets caught up in the Pro Bowl and never ceases to be in the Pro Bowl, and he has to extend.
And he has not announced a tag on Keenan Allen yet. That's the one.
Yes, he has.
Oh, he did? When did that happen?
Today or yesterday, I believe.
Okay. Which tag?
Franchise.
The number of offers I sent for Aldon Smith trying to use a trade extension on him.
Oh, prior to the deadline.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just like after week 1 or week 2.
Yep.
It'd be a big price jump next year for him.
Is Fitzmagic gonna be starting for anyone next year?
Yep. So again, I mean, we'll see what he can do with Alden if he can keep him at a reasonable price, but definitely worth taking that risk. Then the Jets with Santi. Things seem pretty open.
Checking the extensions. 3 regular extensions and a renegotiation still.
Evan Ingram, maybe.
Did he tag Barnett at all? I don't think he did. The one defensive end I tried to trade for repeatedly early in the year.
I traded him Barnett last year.
Let's see. We have Patriots. Yeah.
Pretty boring.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots has used their renegotiation, has 2 extensions left. Saquon gets a franchise or a 5th-year option end of next year or sometime next year.
Ooh, yes, he does.
Good for him. All right. Let's see.
Maybe
Same with
renegotiate
DJ Moore.
Keanu O'Neal, if you like the idea where he's
That's
gonna
going to get expensive next year.
Life does not suck for Bill and the Broncos.
He's set up. I cannot wait to see his roster actually fill out rather than remain empty like it has been all year long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could double his points next year and still end up with 101.
That he could.
Still here. Like, I mean, what are we doing? Second. All right. And we've got Matt and that's
He's
pretty
got
well.
all of his extensions, all 4 of them.
Chiefs. Good shape.
Like if you're Matt, why not? Why not? If you're looking for people to use the extensions on, why not use one on Mahomes so you don't have to use the extension on him next year?
Because what did Mahomes finish as in points per game?
Yeah, but I mean, yes, you could run it on the chance he was 4th in points per game.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. How much do you want to bet on Mahomes finishing lower than 4th in points per game?
True. Yeah,
So if you're looking for people to use the extensions on,
contracts are going to just keep going up for QB anyway. They won't get as much
Mhm.
guaranteed money, but the yearly will go up.
Kittle, I mean, if he's looking to use extensions, giving Kittle another year or 2 now after this past year.
Yeah, he likely will. Yeah.
Then he's got to make a decision about Agba too at his pricey contract.
Let's see here. But
Same with Justin Simmons.
Huh. I bet you he lets both those guys run out on their contract next year.
So let's see. The Chiefs are next. That's not a team I want to bet against.
Does he have a renegotiation left?
Let me check. He does not.
RJ, welcome.
3 extensions.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey.
Morning.
It's 10 o'clock at night.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
All right, so what team are we on?
Chiefs.
Chiefs. We're using the rosters page where they're
Okay.
all listed and just going down each.
I do appreciate the conversation about the Corey Davis contract. I was saddled with that for a season and a half when it was 6 years and like some ridiculous amount of millions of dollars.
You wouldn't have been saddled with it if you hadn't taken him from me.
No, I don't want him.
True.
So let's see.
Chiefs look like a pretty good team. I haven't actually looked at their squad in a while.
I mean, our ongoing quest to stack the AFC West continues.
I'm loving this. Chiefs look good. I made Raiders much stronger. Me and a couple other teams helped them along here.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
This has
Getting
been
fun.
fantastic. All right, let's see. Look on the Raiders.
Oh, this
This
is gonna
team
be
is-
a fun one.
This team is not bad.
No, it's not. It is
They just
not
got
at all.
shipped an entire offense this week.
I'm kind of excited for. I'm kind of upset/excited for Matt to join and put his 2 cents on this. But this team does not suck.
It definitely doesn't suck, but there's not much depth at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
There's no tight end.
You don't need depth, and tight ends are replaceable.
Hey, I'm trying to find some kind of a weakness.
No, we got to pump it up. There's a huge amount of pieces for my team that are on the squad now that I'm looking through it. Like how
Your
many
team
times,
sucks. Nobody
how
likes
many-
your team.
how many times did I trade with this guy last year?
So nobody likes your team.
You traded with the Raiders as many times as I looked at your roster and go, how the fuck does he have that win-loss record?
Raiders only has a second, a third, 2/4 this year.
That's because he just bought his offense.
Yeah.
The last 2
I'm
days.
very familiar with buying offense from Mike.
I'm becoming the feeder team or the farm team for the AFC West, just like Mike is to the rest of the league.
Exactly.
It feels good too.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I want everybody to succeed. If you succeed, we succeed. Everybody succeeds.
I actually really like, but we're not talking about roster. This is off topic, but I like his rookie defensive ends, Alton Robinson and DJ Wanham. And again, it might be because I'm a Vikes fan, but Wanham looked very good for a rookie in his limited playtime.
It
But-
might be because you're a Vikes fan.
Anyway, moving on. I tried to buy him more than once and failed.
All right, let's see what's up next.
The new Bears.
The new Bears. I mean, they fit, but I feel like this team is slowly but surely moving away from the old Bears.
It is moving away from old Bears. He paid for a running back. He sent a first for a running back. Anyway,
All right.
I mean, other than Hunt, I don't see much of like a turnover from the team that was. How far did they go in the playoffs? They made it to the NFC Championship, right?
Yeah, divisional.
division.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, new acquisitions are Shepard and Hunt, which are great for a team that's already in the hunt for a championship.
Exactly. Let's see. Bears and Lions, nothing really. Where are the Bengals down here? Well, whatever.
Whatever. I got 2 extensions left to use.
I'm not gonna lie. I love my team.
Oh, yeah, but the team right next to it, man.
I'm a better team than that.
I don't know.
I'm better at quarterback. I'm better at running back. You've got me a tight end. I'm better at D tackle. I'm better
You
at
are-
D end. I'm better at
You are
linebacker.
not
I'm
better at D tackle or at D end any longer. Or
I'm sorry.
linebacker.
Hold on.
Hold on.
You think you're better with Mike Purcell,
Yes.
Marnier
Purcell.
Toy, and
Mike. Okay, fine. Buckner's better. Whatever.
I'm sorry. So what was that? I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you. very
Okay,
well.
you're better at defensive tackle. I'll take the wide receiver title back from you, though. You've got 2
Okay.
good guys.
Better wide receiver. You
I
think-
I think that's very debatable. I love Jamal Agnew, but then it's just kind of like a who's who of players that get one rushing attempt every week.
I love that everything that just got said. It's I'll debate you on Jamal Agnew, but beyond that,
Beyond that, it's a wash.
I like the guy that used to be a cornerback that solely returns kicks and punts. I'll take that guy.
Oh my god! All right,
Mike, do we play each other next year?
I
You know
hope
what the
so.
schedule's going to be yet? I hope so too. I mean, I like your team a lot as well, just not quite as much as mine.
Yeah, but I think I'm in a better position than you are. Again, granted, this is purely opinion based. I'm in a better spot from a receiver basis. I think I'm in a better spot from a DN basis. Open to whatever interpretation.
I think you're better than the rest of the league at the end, like
Yeah.
combined.
Yeah.
Life's tough. Anyways,
Life's tough. I'm just happy I got Hunter. Can I point that out? I'm so happy he's on my
I'm
team.
so pissed you got Hunter.
Sure, it cost me the only quarterback I had, or both quarterbacks I had, but I got Hunter.
At some
Well,
point, I'm gonna need a explanation as to why you got Hunter for the price.
For what?
I'm gonna need an explanation as to why you got Hunter for that price.
I don't care if it was an overpay or an underpay. He's on my team for the rest of his career. He will never leave the squad.
It's
No. It's nothing to do with you. It's to do with the fact that I keep asking for him every time I have a conversation with him.
The conversation came about. I updated my trade bait, and I got a message saying, "Hey, what do you want for your Rodgers Love stack?" And I looked at the team. I'm like, "Oh, that's going to be tough. I'd need early first and a stud." And conversation went from there. So I got Hunter.
And you
It went on for much longer than that, but that's like the 5-second version of the 2-week discussion to get something in place. And it just took Super Bowl night, and we were both kind of buzzed. So, yeah, it happened.
Well, I know we touched base on that when we talked about trades, and I did think very highly of that trade. I think you should be very excited about Hunter. Me personally, I'm not overly excited because I know how neck injuries can be.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things. Like, he's such a talented player. I'm willing to have the burden of his cap years, all of that, just for the potential of his production, pre-injury.
All right.
Makes sense.
Moving on.
All right.
That was okay. If you guys don't care about these two teams, just like cut out those 5 minutes from the pod.
Hold on. Let's take our time here. James, as a team who is having to deal with these teams on a regular basis, any thoughts you have?
On what teams? The
Bengals and Vikings.
Oh yeah, Vikings. Literally every position but linebacker.
All right. Well, anyways, unfortunately, you're in a situation where you have to deal with the Falcons on a regular basis. Let's talk about you, though. Enough about this BS. Let's talk about you.
We skipped Bucks and Falcons, or did I black out for like 3 minutes?
You might have blocked out for 3 minutes.
Okay.
No, we skipped teams.
We gotta go back. You can't skip every time.
Fine.
So
Let's talk about Alex and the Buccaneers.
We're like the national sports media. We only talk about certain teams that are important and get ratings.
That's right. That's why people tune in, to hear us talk about Agnew.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about Agnew and all the fun that is Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater. That's a fun little contract. I hope Teddy keeps starting
Me too.
for a team. Yeah, I hope he does.
I like his contract a lot more than what it was after free agency last year.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I do like the player, but hearing that he was already offered in trades for other quarterbacks doesn't make me overly confident.
I already got a couple.
You're talking about real life, though, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was offered in a Stafford package, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Him and 8.
That's it, though. I don't hate it. I would not be upset if I acquired Teddy Bridgewater back. Although, can I? Maybe? Yeah.
It's got to be a year from. Did you send him to the Bucks?
365 days, but don't trust me for rules because I just had a trade reversed.
Same.
I'm kind of sorry
We have
about
a bunch of crooks on this call. I was still sleeping when this all went down.
that. I'm kind of sorry about that.
I'm not
Jeremy
really
and
worried
his
about
Jeremy
this
and his
Bucks
morning
team.
slumber.
No, it was I mean, both of us can take fault for it, but it was an oversight. Like, we both were discussing the franchise tag and everything like that, and if one of us would have moved our finger on our mouse a little bit further down and scrolled to the last part of the franchise tag, we would have known we couldn't have made that trade.
Like you said, it's a very simple league. Just stick to the rules, guys.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating that OJ Howard was traded, but extended prior to the trade.
But, so that's the part I can't understand. I can get dumping OJ Howard. Extending him?
It was part of the. Yeah, there were questions asked to as a commissioner that, trade wants to go through, but the requirement is they be extended first, or something along those lines. So I was saying we can't enforce it from a league rules perspective. It's two owners agreement.
I don't really understand the Bucks at all.
One of those many questions you get as a commissioner that you never hope to answer.
I don't know. I mean, a year from now we could be
I don't
looking at
know.
this and seeing. I don't know. Maybe OJ Howard has a year 5.
All right. So does anybody give a shit about the Falcons? No. Great. Keep going.
I kind of do. I want to look at this crappy team for a little while.
Do we really?
They're a good team.
Well, how many extensions do you have left there, Brett? Is he gone?
He had to hop off.
All right, let's skip him. Let's go. I would say this talk, but I figured Brett was still here.
I mean, if we skip him, we can get to the Panthers and actually hear what James has to say about his team.
Yeah,
I agree. We're on the Panthers, and
Okay.
I'm excited to talk about this team.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So we
Questions there.
we finally have we finally have an owner that's willing to make moves rather than just let his team stagnate and become stupid expensive.
Old Panthers would not trade.
No.
I tried so hard.
So what
All right,
did
but-
you guys think about the Raiders trade?
Uh,
I guess that's the big thing.
that was the Mixon deal, right?
Yeah.
I actually talked to Raiders in private about that, and I think he'd be fine with me discussing it. He's looking for opinions on it, and I told him I think he overpaid just slightly, but I also liked it for his team because Mixon kind of filled the hole for his offense that he had, which means I think you got good value out of it as well from your perspective.
Agreed.
I think Robbie Anderson's a ridiculously undervalued asset for his contract.
Yep.
So like getting rid of him hurts, but getting rid of that abomination of a Joe Mixon contract is nice. I don't care what points are associated with him. That contract's a burden.
But let's just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Panthers receivers: Mike Evans, Tyler Boyd, and any flex receiver is going to be starting and going to be pretty damn solid.
Okay, Evans has been moved around a lot the last few years. He was on your team, Mike. He was on my team. He's on.
I don't think
He's
Evans has been on my team.
He. Oh, was it not on your team? Never mind. That was
I
Hopkins.
I do not think Mike Evans has had the opportunity.
Okay,
to
I
be
think it
on
was
my team.
Hopkins on your team. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, Chris Godwin.
Hopkins has been moved around like a whore the past year or so.
Yeah. But no, came to Joe
I
Mixon.
want him a
and I like
whore.
the
I mean,
contract.
dear God.
I don't really like Mixon either. Really, he's
That's
I don't
fair.
either. I mean,
talent, but I don't think he's elite.
No, I
was
think he'll be fine
honestly
with.
surprised they paid him because
Yeah.
ever since they've drafted Mixon, they've drafted 5 or 6 other running backs. You don't
Yeah.
usually draft 5 or 6 other guys unless you really like them. And if you
I
actually
think-
look in his contract details, there's not a lot of guaranteed money in his real deal. So
Yeah, I
Anyways.
think you'll be fine with Gordon and Johnson.
James, I did send you an offer. Is that dead in the water?
it's a little bit richer than what I wanted to do.
All right, fair enough.
You got to understand, if you trade with Mike, the offers will get larger and larger until you essentially swap teams. And
Mhm.
No,
that's how we.
I like the
I
Eagle
I
deal.
resemble that comment.
I I felt like I was going to give up a good amount to get the players I wanted, but it was going to give me a top 5 DT to go with my top 10 DT. It was going to give me another legit linebacker, and if Quan could come back, and then Raheem, if he could just do anything. I would have Melvin.
If he could
Raheem.
do
Like, I
anything.
could literally pick up all 3 of those guys. I still have a bunch of draft picks, Drew Lock and DD, for the same amount of cap space as literally just the Mixon deal. So
No,
Fair
I,
enough.
I like it.
I liked about it, but it didn't work. 'Cause
I like your idea of running 2 risky QBs at very cheap salaries.
I tried getting better ones, but I didn't think Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love were actually even on the table. I saw them on the acquisitions. I kind of laughed at it, and then next thing I knew, they got traded, and I was like, oh,
Yep.
yeah. So
To be fair, I also offered Matt Stafford for those 2, and yeah, I cannot.
Dude,
go
Mike,
against-
I would trade you back for Stafford if I could, but I'm on that trade lockout on Stafford for
That's what we
200 some
do.
more days.
I really like.
Anyways.
Stafford. I like him with the Rams. Just I don't see Sam Drew in the 11th.
So let's talk about the Saints.
They have James Morgan.
They do. He's on his rookie
James
deal.
Morgan.
Is Sean Lee retired? Has that come out yet?
Sean Lee. I have no idea.
I somehow don't
No,
think
it's
he
not.
has retired yet.
No, it's not out.
I forgot he was still on the Cowboys.
I think he's like one of the epitomes of like what can go wrong with like neck and back injuries. Kind of similar to like a Hunter or what is it? Van Der Esch.
Literally drafted
Mm.
They
Sean
drafted
Lee.
a younger version of Lee.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been hard as a Cowboys fan.
Van Der Esch is a little bit different. His is spinal stenosis, so it's not an injury or anything like that. It's not going to go away. It's just more of a managing and hoping that it doesn't progress during his NFL career.
Sounds fine.
Oh yeah. I mean, Peyton Manning's older brother only had to retire after high school because of it.
What do you mean?
I love how we started off just listing off extensions and renegotiations and that, and now we've moved on to like random people that we just whatever.
All right, let's see.
It's good. And bashing.
No, there's no bashing. Nobody's talking ill. We just point out the awkward players that we enjoy on rosters.
I'll trade Agnew to somebody if they want to tag him. Like
Hold on.
I won't even request much in return.
Let's back this up. Can
I only
we
have-
talk some shit about the Colts?
Yeah, let's go back.
Let's scroll back and talk some shit about the Colts because they're very upset we have not talked shit about them.
So I have a question. It seems there's some kind of story about Trubisky I'm missing.
So
Story there.
it was
I want a formal thank you from the Colts for trading away his first round pick to Mike, who eventually traded his first round pick back to him. Because one of us could have just held on to it because we both knew Trubisky was shit.
yeah, but okay. So the story was it was last year, right?
Yep.
Early on in the season.
Yep.
Well, it was before the season started, wasn't it?
Yep.
I can't remember.
Before
Anyway.
before the season, I had control of his pick, and then I traded it for Amari Cooper and Josh Kelly, and Mike was like, "I know this is going to be a bargaining chip in like 3 weeks with the Colts," and then less than a week later, it was a bargaining chip because Trubisky got benched, or got hurt, or just started playing terrible, or forgot to throw to his left again. I don't know.
But anyway, the Trubisky story was I was drinking one night when I was trading, which I do often.
Oh,
I messaged
Drinking while
everybody.
he's trading.
It can't be done. Messaged the league saying I want to get rid of Trubisky. he's on the block or whatever. And eventually I talked to a couple people, but Colts, Chris, the other Chris, my other half of me, said, I'll trade you Stafford for Trubisky. So we did that and we swapped it. And most of the league hated it. But he got Trubisky, and Trubisky's just an easy joke. So that's why everybody references him.
You got Stafford for Trubisky. That's painful.
Yes.
And then
at the same time, I was trying to work a three-way trade.
Yes. Mike's doing all this effort.
And I was
I've gone
involved
through
in that.
mapping out all of the details of making a three-way trade to make this work with Chris, and it did not work any longer.
Yep. So Eagles, RJ, Mike, and myself. Mike was putting in the legwork to figure out how to shift players between the three of us with QBs and such, and all that's going on. And then my quick conversation with Chris made me abandon those plans. Mike, you should have took screenshots of that group me chat between the
Oh,
three
I
of
did,
us.
and it was wait.
I don't think
Hold
I
on.
ever deleted that chat.
What if? And pardon me if I say what if
Yeah.
I decide to do this instead.
So to me, the joke's not so much about Colts, Chris. Apologies, because everybody does rip on you. It was more how funny it was with Mike's reaction to that three-way chat we had going on. I
They
mean,
just all got blown up.
I blew it up. I blew it up. He did the work, and I just tossed him to the side. So, but we did a different three-way later on, and you got Stafford and you got CMC for me. So I think that makes up for it. It's enough.
Life doesn't suck.
There you go.
That was the fastest emergency podcast I had ever seen. It was a glorious one too.
Matt with Chargers. Matt was just pissed when everything was done because he was in conversations for those pieces as well.
I mean, he's always pissed, but he has not shown up on any of these podcasts yet. So who knows what's going on?
Yep.
Anyways,
Anyway, back to where were we?
Were we at the Saints or about to go?
Yeah,
past the
we were-
Saints?
With Saints when we made us talk about Chris. Yeah. Anyway,
We had talked about his glorious stable of quarterbacks, and we were progressing from there.
life doesn't suck. Let's see here. Anything else we need to really jump into? I mean, at the end of the day, life is good for those quarterbacks.
yep.
Does Derek Carr get another year in Las Vegas? And do the Saints continue to have a starting quarterback?
I mean, he should. Right, guys?
I don't really think he's on the hot seat. I think he's fine.
I don't know. I don't follow the real life Raiders at all. So
I think the only thing that's going to be interesting really is Josh Jacobs and this DUI situation. What's actually going on with him? And they started really liking
wait, he got a DUI?
Booker. Yeah, they started really liking Booker later and later in the year. He started getting more of a snap share.
What else can you do?
Plus, Gordon likes receiving backs, so I wouldn't be surprised if more competition comes in that backfield too.
Right. Roto World says there's sorry, let's get it off topic. Real trade interest in Marcus Mariota.
They've been wanting to move Mariota over Carr for the past week or so. Apparently, they've been trying to send him somewhere.
But who really wants to give Mariota a second chance when you have like 5 or 6 draftable QBs in this class?
New
And all
England.
the other guys.
Apparently, Belichick's interested in the reclamation project.
Okay, then.
That'd be interesting.
Well, what can you
So back to the Saints roster.
Back to Saints. Yep.
Decent defensive tackles, decent defensive ends. I think really that whole team's question is like, where does Devonta Freeman have a job next year? That's I don't know.
James, what do you think?
What, the Saints?
Mm-hmm.
I'm mostly worried about the Falcons and my division. That's about my only concern.
That's
honestly.
a good answer. And let's go to the Cowboys.
Amen, brother.
Cowboys.
So
Rivers
this is
should retire.
already retired.
Already retired.
Mhm.
That should get wiped off.
Yeah, just gotta wait for the rollover to post it.
Yep.
They have the second pick, right?
Yes, they do.
Mhm.
All right. So I'm gonna see a pretty decent quarterback for the next 4 years, 5 years in my division.
Who do we think that's going to be?
The number 2 pick.
Uh,
It's really
Justin
dependent
Fields,
on.
motherfucker.
Honestly, it's whoever the Cowboys like, and I don't really have that information.
Yep.
If Trey Lance lands somewhere decent, I don't have an issue with him picking him up. Who's the kid from BYU? If he goes
Zach
somewhere,
Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
yeah, like
Wilson, Mac Jones, Fields, Trey Lance.
They all suck.
It's,
They're all. That's one of the
They're
reasons I
all
made the
fucking
trade.
terrible. They're the
Wow.
fucking worst in the world.
oh yeah, it's the 1999 draft all over again.
Yep.
Right.
They all suck balls.
It's why I did my trade. I've got the 105. There could be 5 QBs in the first round. Just roll the dice with one of them.
Balls.
Oh man.
He's got a good tight end on a really cheap contract.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard that before.
Balls.
Unfortunately, those don't stick most of the time.
I'm sorry, balls don't stick. Balls stick a lot.
Balls and good contracts, they do not stick.
Balls stick very well. I mean, how can you say balls don't stick? How dare you?
Is
I would-
Vita Vea back?
All right. Anyways,
Anyway, yeah, he's got an early pick.
Oh, look, it's the Eagles.
Hey.
all right.
So back on the Cowboys, he should extend TJ Watt again. Just keep him at a 6-year contract.
Mhm.
Keep him at 6-year contract forever. Just every year extend him, just for fun of it.
Makes sense.
I'd do it.
I mean, he's gonna be good for an extended period of time. I don't know about extending him every year, but
Mhm.
having him
Jones
locked
might
into
not be a bad idea either.
Who?
Byron Jones. I know
Ah.
corners don't really matter, but you wouldn't have to really pay him much more than what he's getting already. And in Miami, people
might
are gonna
extend
stop
it.
throwing to Howard at some point, right?
I may extend a corner, even though it's been made fun of before.
How dare you?
I might do it. Anyway,
Good for you. I'm glad you do that.
you having fun, Mike?
Always.
All right, Eagles. Yeah.
I'm
You want to talk about your team?
I'm gonna be the worst team in the league this year.
He's going full tank.
hmm
It's going to take a lot of work for you to be the worst team in the league. Come on.
You got to move Mostert.
I'll move everything. Literally everything has to go. I don't want anybody on that roster.
Interesting. Okay.
I tried to help you with that.
I know. We will.
I'm sure
Well-
you and I will talk at some
Yeah.
point here in the near future.
Yep. James, I mean, here the trades are already happening. What are you doing next?
What do you mean?
I mean, everyone's starting to make trades. Do you have a trade in mind?
I'm talking about our trade that didn't go through.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we'll we'll address that at a later date. We will try to rectify that trade.
Yep. All right. We were wrong.
The Giants.
2 years ago's champion.
He told
here
me
we
he
are.
liked his running backs. I tried to sell him Melvin.
He has good running backs, and he got him for a really good price.
Yeah, his
Yeah, Zeke for 10 isn't bad.
the
Mhm.
renegotiation helped a lot on his deal.
All right.
Does he have a receiver though?
He traded away Odell Beckham. He's expressed interest in my receivers that I've got a trade block, so I'm sure him and I will talk a bit.
He just got
Yeah.
Vaughn in the 2 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The defense is a little lackluster, but
I
But
like
it-
his linebackers.
yeah, I think it's in a situation where we're kind of just seeing it in transition from being like a team that wasn't good last year to a team that's probably looking to reload and rebuild in this offseason.
Yep.
He looks like he's a couple receivers and a couple defensive players away from being good. He's got the money in the picks.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for all of your time. Thank you for being you. And we'll get back in touch next week.
All right.
Any other thoughts? I mean, Chris, you seem like you're ready to keep going.
Yeah, we've got like 5 teams left. Like we did 27 of the teams.
What else don't we have? What else haven't we done? I mean,
The NFC West Washington football team.
It's, yeah, Washington looks meh. 49ers they've got Foles.
let me scroll down.
Scroll past that team.
Cardinals have Dante Hightower still on IR. But his contract's up anyway.
Yeah, it seems like most of the guys on IR either crappy players or, and not just for this team, but in general, a lot of guys left on IR. They don't care if they get cut or they're on 1
Fair
year.
enough.
He does have 11 years on the taxi squad.
That's true.
And
Ooh.
he probably wants to keep that cornerback that's on the taxi squad. If I were him, Amani.
If you're the Seahawks, do you renegotiate John Ross to 6 and half his salary?
We're skipping all over the place.
In my opinion, just cut him and take the cap hit this year. We take the 50% cut before the turnover and just be done with it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, if he's got the cap space, he could keep him. But if it's a question, yeah, I'd go with RJ's suggestion probably.
Because I mean, if you feel that strongly about him, then you probably are going to be the one that'll pay the most in free agency, and you'll likely get him for a discount. If he starts to surpass that, then you're probably not going to want him anyway.
That's true.
And like that 4 years, he might be out of the league before he gets to 2 years on that contract. Or he could be a decent wide receiver by then.
Yeah. All right. So on to the next thing.
Sorry, I'm trying to do trades and talk at the same time.
That's all good.
That's fine. What are you trying to trade?
Trying to trade for everything.
We'll tell you if it's bad right now.
Hell-
I'm sure you would.
Let's make this work.
No,
All right.
no.
Chris is trying to trade everything, so everybody offer everything.
I talk about my trades after they're done. I don't like to discuss them too much while they're in the works.
All right, I'll give you a pinky ring for all of your linebackers.
Is it made out of thread?
Sure.
That seems fair.
Huh?
Slowly but surely, I'm going to transition this team to a real life Vikings roster.
Would that actually do well in this type of a league?
No, I'm sure it wouldn't, but it'd be fun.
I would be interested to see somebody attempt it. I don't think that I would do it.
How dare you?
It'd be a fun thing to try, man.
I'm a Patriots fan, so it would be shit on the defensive side. I'd have a whole bunch of guys that just scored like 70 points on the year.
Yep. I don't think it would work in this league. Like, it'd be so hard to get the right contracts on the right guys and actually have enough assets to trade for everybody. I mean, it would be a multi-year project.
It would also take the a really good year from that particular team. Like if somebody assembled.
Oh no, it wouldn't be done to try to win. It'd just be like a completionist type goal.
I don't know. If you put together most of the Chiefs roster this year, you probably would have done fairly well.
True.
Because you had one and a half sustainable running backs. You had two, debatably three, mediocre to good wide receivers. You had a good tight end. They had I don't know. Was Chris Jones good scoring wise this year?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so you have a good defensive tackle. Every team has like terrible defensive ends apparently, because it's just fucking the worst guessing game in the world every season on who's going to be in the top 10 of that position. All right, so I'm wrong. Kansas City would have been terrible because they would have fallen apart by the time you get to their DNs and linebackers.
All right. I think we've exhausted our talking points.
Yep.
So, if there's something you guys want us to talk about next pod, let us know. Because otherwise we pick the topics. And then you get stuff like Agnew. So, yeah.
Any thoughts?
It's your fault you rostered him.
True. All right. Parting thoughts.
Come buy all my players. I'm still selling.
All right, let's roll it. Oh, thank you. Thank you for once again tuning in, and thank you for making this happen. Hope everyone's doing their best in this situation right now, and we'll figure it out.
All right. I'll see y'all, guys. Still rolling, Mike. You got to actually kill the video.
I know.